And good afternoon, everyone. I'm First Alert Meteorologist CJ Cartledge here, hopping on another stream just to give you guys the latest update on what we got here in the KSLA First Alert Weather Center. The National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center, actually, another National Weather Service in Shreveport, has been in contact with the Storm Prediction Center on upgrading the severe risk for today for many areas around the I-20 corridor and southward. And they have released a new outlook here, which I will put here on the screen, that it shows an increased risk for severe weather for many areas around the I-20 corridor and southward. I'm going to put this full screen so that you guys can see it here. But as you can see, the marginal risk for severe weather, which is the slightly lower risk, only a level 1 out of 5 on the severe risk scale, is now moved into areas just south of the I-30 corridor. As you can see, there are many areas around I-20, including Shreveport, Bossier, Minden, I would say, Minden, Homer, as well as Longview, Marshall along the I-20 corridor, and south of I-20 are now under a slight level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. That means an enhanced risk for damaging winds and, sadly, a higher risk for tornadoes as we move into the late afternoon and into this evening. Once again, if you're just joining, I'm First Alert Meteorologist CJ Cartledge for KSLA News 12, reporting the news that we just got around an hour or two ago here. And I'm just giving you guys a brief update of what we can expect throughout the rest of this afternoon and evening in terms of timing as well as intensity here. We're going to be diving into all of those details in this stream here. So if you have any questions for me or any questions that you want answered, please make your way to the Facebook stream or onto the YouTube stream so that you guys can have your questions answered. I see people already talking in the YouTube stream right now. Hello. Hello to everyone that is saying hello in the chat as of right now. But we will be diving into the latest details as of right now. Here's a look at First Alert Doppler radar and what's going on around the Arklatex as of right now. We have been seeing some light to moderate rainfall and even some places heavy rainfall move through areas around I-30 and northward through the past couple of hours or so, through the past 3 hours, that is, here from 10:30 to now. And let's zoom into that here. Now, we have seen some sort of strong storms here. I believe there is a strong storm out there as of right now, as the National Weather Service has issued a special weather statement, also indicating that there is a strong storm within an area. It's located in west central Hempstead and southeastern Howard County. So it's in southwestern Arkansas. More than likely the reddish and orangish colors that you see there on the screen. I'm going to stop it at the live radar picture. More than likely it's this here storm that is moving off to the north and east as of right now. And that's moving at around 55 miles per hour. So it's moving pretty fast here. And we're going to be watching these storms throughout the rest of the daytime hours. Obviously, the wind gusts could get up to around 40 miles per hour, with pea-sized hail being the main threat associated with this system here. So once again, a strong thunderstorm is impacting southeastern Little River County, as well as west central Hempstead County and southeastern Howard counties as of right now. And this lasts until 1:45 p.m. And there's also other clusters of heavy rainfall in that ongoing near Ashdown, as well as just right by the border of McCurtain County and Oklahoma and Arkansas there. Those two areas are also instances of heavy rainfall moving through those areas as of right now. But looking along behind where these storms are, there are a couple of clusters of storms moving into Clarksville in Red River County, as well as near Talco in southern Red River County, and also moving near Mount Pleasant into East Texas here. So let's move down the line here towards where these storms actually are. The long line of strong storms is actually starting to generate here, and it's moved through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it has a history of producing some rotations. I believe there was a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the Dallas County area or somewhere surrounding it, or near the Dallas-Fort Worth area, not too long ago, but it was showing some signs of rotation, weak to moderate rotation there. But this is the line. As you can see here, we will be receiving winds from the south and west here. So winds that'll mainly be coming this way, with a line that is pushing that way, or at least this way. So whenever you have whenever you have winds pushing up from the south and brushing along a line of storms that is moving in a different direction on where it's heading here, you could always get those sort of rotations there with the winds poking into the line, and that's how you could get some sort of rotation there. And that's what's been happening over in the Dallas-Fort Worth area not too long ago, and that's what could happen as we move into the afternoon hours for today. Let's take a look at some of these questions here that have been coming in. Will I be able to make it home if I get off at 6 p.m.? This is from Sinuea. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thomas, will I be able to get home if I get off at 6 p.m.? At 6 p.m., more than likely, if you're located in Shreveport-Bossier, you will be in the thick of these storms. The strong line of storms will be moving through the Arklatex at that time frame, or at least, yes, it definitely will be moving through the Arklatex at that time frame. But if you're located in Shreveport, you will be in the thick of those storms. So try to make your way out of work before 6 p.m. What about Blanchard? Somebody asks. And Blanchard will more than likely see these storms at around 6 p.m. as well. What about with Shreveport with tornado? Somebody asked as well, Miss Crystal Hill. The last question was asked by Mr. Gary Foster. This one's by Crystal Hill. How about Shreveport with tornado? We're going to be diving into those details in just a second. Thank you guys so much for asking those questions here. Let's dive into Future Track first and foremost here. If you're out at the Crew of Gemini Parade as well, make sure to hopefully you have your rain jacket, your rain gear handy, because isolated to scattered showers are still possible moving through the rest of the afternoon hours for today and into this evening here. Future Track shows, I'm just putting you guys full screen here. But we are expecting these storms to slowly make their way through the Arklatex as we move through the late afternoon and early evening hours. Here we are at around 3 p.m. to 3:30, and most of these storms will be more than likely in East Texas, affecting areas along and north of I-20 and into some portions of Rusk County, including Henderson, possibly, along that long line of strong to severe storms. But as you can see, this line will slowly make its way through the rest of the Arklatex and sort of kind of push out ahead of the front, as you can see there, just south and west of Shreveport. That denotes the heavy rainfall as well as the damaging winds, first and foremost. So damaging winds will definitely be a factor and a main threat associated with these systems here, or this system as a whole, and these storms individually. But we should see these storms slowly make their way down to the south and eastern portions of the Arklatex there as of the latest model runs. And that initial line, should be finally out of the Arklatex by the time we hit around 9 p.m., I would say, for this model. But at the latest, I've used this in my my wording before here. At the latest, these storms will be finally out of the Arklatex, the initial line, the strongest part of these storms, by 11 p.m. at the latest here. We shouldn't see much happen after midnight outside of these wraparound showers, which are expected to be to hold little to no severity associated with them here. The main severity will come from these storms that will be the initial line. These storms right here, just moving back through the early afternoon or late afternoon and early evening. But these wraparound showers aren't expected to bring much severe weather, if any at all. Nothing much to really worry about. And we'll be dealing with cooler and drier air moving in at the back half of this system on early Sunday morning. Here's another look at the second model that we usually use here at KSLA, just to provide a consensus on our thinking. And it shows that more scattered showers and storms will be possible or likely heading into the early afternoon for many of the Arklatex, much of the Arklatex there. But those stronger line of storms will make their way down to the south and eastern portion of the Arklatex as we move towards the late afternoon and early evening. And as you can see, this promotes very much later timing as compared to the last model. So just to give you guys a general outlook, between 5 to 7 is what the Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones has just posted recently on his Facebook. Is the time frame for when the line of stronger storms is expected to hit near Shreveport-Bossier. So for the person that asked that last question about if they should leave work at 6 p.m., it's not very advised to leave at 6 p.m. here. More than likely, these storms will be in the area, the Shreveport-Bossier area, if you live in the area there. But I would suggest to leave as a little bit early as possible here. Try not to leave at 6, as you will more than likely be dealing with these storms here. But for the rest of this model, it shows that these storms will be hitting the Arklatex by around, or hitting the Shreveport Bossier area by the time we hit around 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. There seems to be a little bit later timing as compared to the last model here, but we should see these storms move down to the south and eastern portion of the Arklatex near Natchitoches Parish, as well as Red River Parish and Bienville Parish and Sabine Parish there by the early evening hours at 8 to 9 p.m. And we should see these storms finally exit the Arklatex by around 10:30, 11 p.m. in terms of that line, that initial line that I'm talking about there. But still, we're going to see the wraparound showers and not out of the woods just yet. Little to no severe weather is expected with this part of the system here, but we are expecting more instances of heavy rainfall moving through the overnight hours on our Sunday tonight into early tomorrow morning. And once again, by 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. on our Sunday, we should be finally in the clear across the entire Arklatex from any types of rainfall or any types of severe weather. Maybe an isolated shower or two will be left behind, but not much to really impact that drive onto anywhere you may be on your Sunday morning here. At what time, somebody asks Rachel Sims, at what time will it hit Webster Parish? So let's go back a little bit just to show you guys. I'm going to put myself back on this off of the screen here. Let's see. What time will it hit Webster Parish? So according to this model, this is the HRRR model, Webster Parish in Louisiana. We'll more than likely see these storms. That's the parish right next to Bossier Parish there to the east of Bossier Parish. We more than likely see these storms hit you guys. I want to actually move this out of the way just so you guys can see the time there. But more than likely, according to this model, you may receive those storms starting at around 7 p.m. But according to this model, it's a little bit different. So we'll just go back to this model. It shows that it may hit as soon as around 6 p.m. So 7 p.m., 6 p.m., 6 to 7 p.m., you should finally see those storms hit Webster Parish there. What about Shreveport? The time frame for Shreveport? So I would say between 5 and 6 p.m. If it hits Webster Parish at around 6 to 7 p.m., 5 to 6 p.m. is when Shreveport Bossier could finally be hit by these storms here. Forgot to put that on the screen for you guys. Okay. All right, let's go into the other threats here that have been increased. So the timeline still does not change, I don't believe, from earlier here. It's just a general timing for you guys, just for planning purposes, obviously. From noon to 6 p.m. for most of the far easternmost portions within the Arklatex. Around noon to 6 p.m. is the time frame from when those storms will be moving through your area. 4 to 9 p.m. is when those areas in the midsections of the Arklatex, like Center, Mansfield, Shreveport, Minden, Magnolia, Hope, more than likely we'll see these storms hit your area. I would say Shreveport will get hit by between 5 to 6 p.m. And Mansfield, pretty much the same time frame. Center over in East Texas, more than likely seeing a bit earlier timing, 4 to 5 p.m. And for those near that orangish, yellowish line there, the separation between it, more than likely towards the 7 to 9 p.m. hours, I would say, or 7 to 8 p.m. hours, I would say. From 7 to 11, areas like Arcadia, Lucky, Natchitoches will also see these storms hit those areas as well, bringing the chance for severe weather. Here's the day one outlook in terms of individual threats. Now, the tornado risk for today shows that we can expect a slightly higher chance for severe weather. If you tuned into this morning's update at around 9:30, it showed that the brown was only encompassing areas like southern Nacogdoches Parish, southern Natchitoches Parish, and including parishes like San Augustine and Sabine counties over in East Texas, Sabine Parish as well, and including Wynn Parish. But now that has moved slightly northward towards the I-20 corridor. So now includes Shreveport Bossier under that 5% risk for tornadoes here, or brief spin-ups. And there's now a 2% risk for tornadoes for areas between I-20 and I-30 just south of Texarkana. Those north of the I-30 corridor will more than likely see heavy rainfall as compared to all other severe risks for this afternoon. In terms of damaging winds, this mainly influence the increase in risk for severe weather this afternoon, and that has slightly moved northward. So we have now most areas around I-20 and southward now have a higher chance of seeing damaging winds and other severe threats for this afternoon and into this evening. And for the areas between I-20 and I-30, those areas also have a slightly higher risk for seeing damaging winds, but not much of a chance for hail. As you can see, large hail risk shows absolutely nothing for the immediate Arklatex area, but they could see some hail fall or small hail sizes over in near the Dallas-Fort Worth area and those areas surrounding it as well. There's also a chance for flash flooding out there. This risk has not changed from this morning. I believe it's only been shaved just a tad bit here. But for many areas around the I-30 corridor and northward, they will have the higher chance for seeing flash flooding. And we could see some rainfall totals get upwards of 3 inches in some localized areas. 2 to 3 inches, I would say, is my forecast, or an inch and a half to 3 inches is my forecast for those around I-30 and northward. And that pretty much looks to be on par, not on par, but like they pretty much will get the same, not the same type of severe weather, but they will get a risk for severe weather just like everywhere else around the Arklatex. Just areas south of the I-30 corridor will see the risk for damaging winds and tornadoes. But those north of I-30 will see the higher risk for flash flooding as we move through the rest of today. Let's see if there's any other questions here. I believe there's a lot more. Hope the tornadoes risk stays low. Yes, I do. I hope it stays low too. And we were hoping that it would stay low, but sadly, the National Weather Service in Shreveport has seen an increase in the potential, an increase in Cape and low-level wind shear that we could possibly see a few brief spin-ups here. Somebody asks, Tristan Lundy here also asks, are we expecting hail? So there's little to no chance for hail, Tristan. You won't have to worry about that too much. But over in East Texas, I believe there is a very little chance for some hail, and that will more than likely be happening within the next few hours or so. Let's see. I'm going back to the hail risk to show you guys once more. Hail risk for this afternoon and into this evening shows, as you can see, only a 5% risk for areas just outside of the region in East Texas there, but not for anywhere here near Shreveport and around the Shreveport-Bossier area. How long does the tornado risk in Shreveport last? Somebody asks, Miss Nikki Leonti. How long does the tornado risk last? This lasts until this system leaves the Arklatex. So at the latest, around midnight. At the latest, 11 p.m. to midnight is when this tornado risk pretty much goes to zero. For Texarkana, or close to zero, I would say. Never want to rule anything out. Mr. Derek Brown asks for Texarkana. More than likely, you guys saw some rainfall not too long ago. I believe you guys did. Yes, you all did see a little bit of some rainfall not too long ago, and you guys should begin to see the stronger part of these storms here by the time we hit the early afternoon to middle afternoon. I would say between 2 and 4 p.m. is for areas by Texarkana and around the I-30 corridor. And those around I-30 over in East Texas more likely see these storms within the next few hours or so. Or just realizing what the time was, 2 o'clock is about to come up. But yes, we are expecting these storms to slowly make their way through the Texarkana. I would say between now and 3 p.m. 3 p.m. at the latest when those storms will finally hit the Arklatex. Tristan replied again, keep it away from me, please. LOL. Thank you all. Thank you for all you do, and stay safe, bro. You stay safe as well. Thank you for tuning in, Tristan. Another question in the comments says, I don't live in that area. I will be praying for all of you. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day to you as well, Mr. Justin Barnes. I appreciate you commenting here in the chat. Let me check the YouTube stream to see if there's any traction on there. There's not much traction on here. There's not many comments just yet, but you guys are more than welcome to ask any questions and say anything that you would like to say about the weather, of course. Let's keep it PG. Okay. So yeah, this is what's going on around the Arklatex as of right now. It may stay on for around 10 more minutes before I will let you guys go. If you guys have any more questions, please let me know down in the comments. I'm also streaming live on the KSLA News 12 app and on YouTube, as well as here on Facebook. Somebody asks for Shreveport Bossier. It hasn't popped up over here just yet, though. So, yes. Okay. There it is. There it is. There it is. Somebody asks Miss Nikki Brown, how bad for Shreveport? So, Shreveport Bossier, you guys are on the very edge, or we are on the very edge, since I'm located in Shreveport too. We're at the KSLA News 12 station. Shreveport Bossier is on the very edge of the slight risk of severe weather. I'm going to give you guys just a quick notion overlapping with the radar here, just to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. We're on the very edge of this severe risk, of the marginal risk, and on the slight risk of severe weather. We were just a couple hours ago, before the latest update, we were clearly in that green color, but now we are in the yellow, which is a slightly higher chance for severe weather for this afternoon and into this evening here. So we'll definitely have to keep our eyes open and keep watch on the radar throughout the rest of this afternoon and evening, as storms could definitely pop up and produce some isolated tornadoes, maybe even a few tornadoes, and some damaging wind threats that could blow some power lines down, blow some trees down. We're not expecting extensive damage, but I could definitely see some damage associated with these storms here, as they could reach up to around 60 miles per hour in wind gusts. So how bad for Shreveport is such a relative question, but just be prepared for the worst, as I usually say. Be prepared for the worst, and you will be just fine. We do have a chance for damaging winds, and we do have a chance for tornadoes now, as of the latest update here, now that Shreveport is in the yellow. But now I zoomed into this portion of the Arklatex, mainly because we're starting to see some isolated showers begin to form over by Nacogdoches here, and moving up to the south and moving up to the north and east here, as you can see, moving in from the south and west. So we can expect those to hit possibly Shreveport and areas around the southern half of the Arklatex pretty soon here. Not too long ago, not too far away from where we are now. Somebody asks for Redwater and Ida, Louisiana. I just pulled up the comment for Ida, Louisiana. Can you, Miss Shara Shani? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Can you, if by any chance, type in the chat what state that's in? I know that's a smaller city. I'm not exactly sure where Redwater is. But if you can help me out and type exactly which state that is located in, I'll be happy to talk about that city for you and the forecast for that city. Ida, Louisiana, I do believe is very close to Shreveport. It's along I-20, I believe, or in the northern portions. There we go, right along that border. Just popped up for me. Ida, Louisiana is in the marginal risk for severe weather, and according to the timing, which I will bring up here. According to the timing, we are looking at between 4 and 9 p.m. As you can see there, you may not be able to see Ida on the screen here because this the 4 to 9 p.m. slate, this little blue box there is blocking it. But 4 to 9 p.m. is more likely when you will see these storms hit your area, Miss Cindy Harding. So make sure to be prepared before then. Make sure to know where your safe space is, and make sure to have enough materials like food and water just in case if you lose power. For today, we are expecting some severe storms to happen, as they have already happened in Dallas-Fort Worth earlier today, just a couple of hours ago. So make sure to be prepared for that. If you guys don't know what a safe place is, it's an interior room within your home or shelter. I'm going to move this off of the screen just so you guys can see that. Where to take shelter within your home. So you can see the green is the safe place and the red is the not safe place here. So where to go? In the center part of your house, away from windows, and make sure to cover your head with a helmet, blankets, or pillows, just in case a severe weather situation or a storm hits your immediate area. That green zone, that green room that you see there on the screen, is one example of a safe place to be in the middle of a severe weather situation. That is somewhere that is not connected to the outside. It's not an outer room that has only one wall between you and the outside of your home or shelter. It has no windows. And that's pretty much the criteria. No windows, and it has to be an interior room. So that can be a closet, that could be a bathroom, just like what that example is. And that could be any other space or even a basement. If you have a basement, which I know is not very common down here in the South, that would be a great place as well, as you are underground. But safe places, interior rooms with no windows or connections to the outside or doors, doors to the outside, that is. You can have a door on your safe space. Or basements, if you have a basement. Somebody asks, what about Sabine Parish for Olivia Scott? And there's other questions coming in too, which I will get to in just a second. Sabine Parish will more than likely see these storms. I believe they're in the 4 to 9 p.m. time frame here, was what I showed earlier and with that graphic there. I can put that back up on the screen, by the way. That 4 to 9 p.m. time frame, or they're pretty much split. So more than likely by the early afternoon or early evening, excuse me, between 7 and 9 p.m. I would say is when Sabine Parish could be hit by these storms. Let's see. Redwater, Texas. Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that for me. For those in East Texas there, let's see. Let me go back to the live radar picture for you guys. Let's see. Okay, Redwater, Texas. You guys are in northeastern Texas, I believe. More than likely going to see these storms within the next, I would say, hour to an hour and a half. I believe you guys will be in the same time frame as Texarkana. So make sure to get ready as of right now for when this heavy rainfall comes your way. You guys will more than likely see heavy rainfall, but you guys still have a chance to see some damaging winds, and there is a low chance for tornadoes, but it's not out of the question just yet. So Redwater, Texas, make sure to have everything you need: food, water, and lights, batteries. Charge up your phones as we head through the overnight hours here as well. Yeah, charge up anything that you may have, and just prepare for the worst. If the worst doesn't happen, at least you're prepared. But yes, there is a chance for tornadoes this afternoon. There's a chance for damaging winds. There's not much of a chance for large hail, but the main factor, especially in areas north of I-30 and around the I-30 corridor, including Redwater, Texas, is heavy rainfall. Let's talk about the rainfall amounts associated with what we can expect this afternoon and into this evening here. Look at all that. It's as of the latest update in terms of the graph model that we have here at KSLA, moving everything else off the screen. For those that are north of I-30, this shows a little bit lesser rain totals here. So let's take a look at something else here. This is not let's take a look at another rainfall potential graphic that shows more in line of what I'm thinking. I would say it's a bit more for areas north of I-30 there. You can see I could see more of the red colors more into those areas north of I-30 here. Just give me a quick second before so I can look for that graphic for you guys, and there we go. Okay, so the next 7 days, yeah, that shows more in line of what I'm thinking here. More the purple colors expected for areas north of I-30 and more in East Texas as well. Could see a good amount of rainfall there. Nearly 2 to 3 inches are possible for those north of I-30. That falls more in line of what I'm thinking here for this system alone here. We're not expecting much rain through the next 7 days ahead of us, but we could see a good deal of rainfall through the next at least through this system. I wouldn't say through the next 5 or 3. Through this system alone, we should see a good deal of rainfall on the way for us, and that hopefully will put a good old dent in our drought conditions, because drought is pretty bad in some areas around the Arklatex as compared to others. Going back to the live radar picture for you guys, let's take a look at some more questions. Will the storms Nikki Brown asks the question again: will the storm be passing through Shreveport fast, or will it be lingering around? It actually will be moving by relatively fast here. It will be moving by relatively fast. It should start at around 5 to 6 p.m. and should be out of the Shreveport Bossier area, the strongest storms at least, by the time we hit around 7, maybe even 8, as late as 8 p.m. So it shouldn't last too long. We should be, I wouldn't say in the clear. We should be in the clear from that initial line of strong to severe storms by the time we hit around 8 p.m. Somebody asked, what about Genoa, Arkansas? I believe that's another small area on the map, or a small city. So I don't know exactly where that might be here. But just giving a forecast as a whole for southwestern Arkansas, we are expecting these storms to, as you can see, move into those areas, the northern portion of the Arkansas. I'm seeing some scattered convection as of right now, but we should see those areas get the severe storms possibly. I don't believe there's much chance for severe weather up there at all, but mostly heavy rainfall is expected for those areas up there. We could see some gusty winds as well, but you guys can expect the heavy winds or some gusty winds and heavy rainfall through the rest of this afternoon. I would just say be prepared for heavy rainfall and the potential for flash flooding through the rest of this afternoon. How much rain are we getting? Says Mr. Richard Pouncey. We are expecting for areas around I-30 and northward around 2 to 3 inches from this system alone, and we could see areas south of I-20 or south of I-30 mainly get at least an inch of rain from the system alone here, from areas near Texarkana to Ida, all the way down to Shreveport, Bossier, all the way into areas south of I-40, south of I-20, and along I-49 here. Even down near Natchitoches could receive around an inch of rainfall through the duration of this system. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what we can expect through the rest of today. I'm going to hop off of here and do the afternoon updates for you guys on the KSLA News 12 website. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's stream. I'll be back once these strong to severe storms, once these storms start to become strong to severe as we move towards the late afternoon and early evening hours. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning into this stream for today. And we'll be live once again later today to tell you about the latest of what we can expect. Also, if you missed out on the Crew of Centaur Parade last week, we'll be streaming that live on KSLA News 12 starting at 6 p.m. on the main channel, on channel 12 there. So make sure you don't miss out on that. But if there is a severe weather situation or if there is a tornado warning, we'll be hopping on in front of that here, and especially through any point this afternoon, whatever's on, we'll be hopping on and telling you guys about the latest threat for severe weather as it comes by. But we'll keep an eye on it for you, and we'll make sure to keep you first alert to the latest updates on what's going on out there around the Arklatex in terms of the weather. Make sure to have a great rest of your day if I don't see you again, and make sure to stay weather aware and stay safe.